I think Phil Hayes has a stat or two, but he's supposed to be some 6-foot guy. Stephen A's towering over him. That guy looks 5'8", 5'9". It's just weird. And furthermore, I found information about Gary Stevens, this Gary Stevens, the guy that's over social media and traveling around, where he played at some New York school, Old Westbury, not at Winston-Salem State. You can't find Gary Stevens on the registrar at Winston-Salem State. You can't find any stats other than this mentioned in this article. It doesn't make sense, not to anybody that knows anything about college athletics. And that's why I'm like, does Stephen A know anything about college athletics? How does someone who would write this narrative arc, this story, how is someone that shallow, that little understanding of how college athletics even works, how does he become the face of sports media at ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports? Is he there because of his expertise, because of his experience, or is he there because he's willing to lie and exaggerate and tell farcical stories? How? Any NBA player, anybody that's played a lick of college sports, explain how you give that story as how you landed a basketball scholarship. When I get to tell you these other Stephen A. Smith stories, it just does. Big House Gaines never mentions him in a book. Now, he mentions thousands of people. Go read the index of all the people that's mentioned. But Stephen A. Smith, not even a sentence? Make it make sense. And keep it, Stephen A. claims father figure. So I want to play you, last point. Stephen A.
So I walked around with animosity for months. And I told him, I said, every chance I get, I don't care how good you are, I said, every chance I get, excuse my language, I said, every chance I get, I said, I'm going to bust your ass, right? And so, smartly for him, when we played in the back of the school, he would never show. He didn't have to. And then cats that agreed with him, we would step outside in the back of the school to play ball, and I'd smoke all of them day after day after day. And I remember it was like a string. It was like a span of 6 consecutive months, 7 days a week, 6 consecutive months. I never failed to take less than 300 jump shots a day. And it got to a point where I was just in the park and I was closing my eyes and hitting 25, 30-foot jump shots. I was just ready. I wanted him so bad. And then the next semester came around, and it was a month before tryouts. And the coach, Harvey Stoller, who was teaching at John Bowne High School, but he was coaching at Thomas Edison, he was in his office getting ready to conduct tryouts. A week before tryouts, I made a beeline to his office, and I said, "You don't know me. My name is Stephen Smith." I said, "I just want to take 2 minutes of your time. I want to make this team. I want to earn it." I said, "But I want you to know what happened to me last year." And I told him what happened. And I said, all I ask is for 2 things. I said, number one, I said, remember me, because I'm going to see to it when I get on the court next week and show you. And then I said, number 2, after I bust all their ass, I said, and I'm not going to lie, those are the exact words I used to him. That's why I said that. I said, after I do that, I said, I only have one favor. I said, you have a guy on this team, and I gave him that guy's name, and I said, I want him on the court against me, just so I can solidify my point. And that next week, I went to that tryout. I hit everything. I mean, they just couldn't stop me. It was money. And once I did that, I went and I hit, because you had these games and it would go up to like 10 or 12 or whatever. And I hit the game winner. And I grabbed the bat. After I hit the game winner, I grabbed the basketball and I walked to midcourt and I put the basketball on midcourt. And everybody was looking at like what's going on because tryouts were supposed to be over. And Harvey Stoller looked over at Franklin Williams. He said, "That's for you. Get out there." And he put him out there, and I bust his ass. And after that, the coach said, "I guess that settles that. Welcome to the varsity squad."
So he's speaking in front of an audience there, obviously. And audiences are gullible, the interviewer is gullible, and so a round of applause for a farcical story. High school basketball tryouts. And Stephen A. and I are the same age. Yes, I grew up in Indiana. He grew up in New York. They're not one-day affairs. There's not one big scrimmage and then a one-on-one matchup, and then boom, they decide who's on the team. High school, we got a kid that is an associate producer, works the cameras for us, pretty good high school basketball player, I believe, in Oklahoma. Luke, help me out here. You're young, you're just 19, 20 years old, but and maybe things have changed. Is a high school basketball tryout a one-day event? Yeah, okay. He just confirmed what it's 2 weeks. And so nothing's changed from my day in terms of like, there is no one-day scrimmage and one-on-one deal and boom, I'm on the team. These stories are being told by someone who doesn't have a fundamental understanding of sports. How did they get this job?